Kia ora whāwhānau, my name's Cleo and I'm the Health Promoter and Junior Policy Analyst for WHA. Today we're going to talk to Linda from Plunket, so come along with me.
My name's Linda Biddle. I'm the Chief of Operational Performance for Plunket. I've been with Plunket nearly 2.5 years. I've come from the justice sector and really passionate about the wellbeing of children and the safety of children and children having the best chance to be the best they can be in our community. Plunket is New Zealand's largest well child provider. We've been around for more than 111 years. Started down in Dunedin by Truby King and two Māori women who assisted him to help at a time when children were hungry and starving and there wasn't the means or ability to support them, and he picked that up and eventually Plunket was formed. And here we are today, now providing well child services to about 90% of parents across New Zealand with children under 5. Our vision is to make the difference of a lifetime in the first 1,000 days, and we're really focused on the first 1,000 days of a child's life because we know that that's the period of life that can set a children up for the rest of its life. So we're not there saving children like Truby King might have been back in the day, but we're there to support parents to be able to be the best they can be in their parenting journey at a time that can be really overwhelming when you've brought a child, or not necessarily your first child, but sometimes your second child or your third or however many children you've got, into a world and circumstances that change all the time. That can be really daunting. So yeah. Well, we primarily what we provide, or a large part of what we provide, is parenting support. Well, let me reframe that. Everything we provide is support for parents. And we have got well child services, so that means that every parent or every caregiver who's looking after a child under 5 gets well child checks, so regular checks to make sure that their children are physically and progressing as we want them to, and kind of meeting all of their good health indicators. But also the services that we provide as part of our well child service and Plunket more broadly are about helping parents with the challenges that naturally come with parenting, and that can range everything, from mum breastfeeding or feeding or sleep support, all of those sorts of things, right through to how do we help parents to understand what play looks like and the benefit of play and brain development and growth of a child, and help them to understand why that's so important and how to do that effectively, as well as bringing parents together in community groups to support them when they're feeling isolated, or just to be able to share how they're feeling with other parents and create those connections. That's really important. And then we've got great services like Plunket Line. That's a 24/7 service that can assist parents whether their children are well or not well. And I think that's just a fabulous facility because it feels really different at 3 o'clock in the morning with a child who's unwell when the rest of the world is asleep, to during the day when your child is unwell and services are open and available. And a facility like Plunket Line can be an absolute lifeline for a parent in that situation and really help. So huge range of services that we provide. We've also got a number of early childhood education centres across New Zealand. So yeah, quite broad and wide ranging. Yes, all of our services are free. So we're really lucky to have generous communities and businesses and volunteers who help us every day to be able to run definitely the services where parents come together as groups. And we receive funding from the Ministry of Health for the Well Child contract and Plunket Line. So we're really lucky to have that sort of support. And I think too, because of our age, our size, and the strength of the connections that we have, we can also put people in touch with other services that Plunket might not have that are both paid and unpaid. So, we don't have everything for everybody. We've got a lot for most, but it's about bringing everyone together to help parents with that journey. So anyone can access Plunket services. You can just ring your local Plunket office or have a look on our website. Most parents will find their way to us through the Well Child Check, so that's information that's provided to them usually when they're with their lead maternity carer about Well Child services that are available, and often we'll come to them. So we'll contact them first and let them know that we've got their referral to us, book in an appointment, see how they're going, ask them if they've got any immediate needs that they have, and then later on parents will contact us through other channels. So. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of challenges facing parents today. There's the really known issues that face a lot of families in New Zealand: poverty, housing, family violence. Those are all issues that are real for too many people in our communities. Isolation, and sometimes that isolation can be living in a rural area. It can be isolation because you're new to New Zealand or new to the place that you're living in, and it can be isolation because you simply haven't got the social supports or friend network around you to help you. So that's a real challenge for parents. One of the other challenges is technology. So technology's both a blessing because it can access you into services really quickly. It can give you really good information, but it can overwhelm you with information. There's just so much out there now in terms of parenting. It can be really hard for parents to navigate through all of that information and be really clear about how that fits for them in their journey and their child. So that's also a challenge for parents today. So one of the things that we're trying to do all the time is understand what those challenges are, both by talking directly with parents obviously, but also connecting with other agencies so that we can help advocate for changes that are needed to better support them. I think just parents should just never forget that somebody's there to help them. So no matter what your situation, whether it's Plunket or whether it's another agency, support's close at hand. Ring Plunket line or ring an agency, ring someone in your community if you need a hand. There will be somebody else who's feeling the same way you are, and there's somebody else who can benefit from your wisdom and your journey as well. So reach out and connect to people.